I am a 40-year-old professional history professor who is here to teach you about America throughout history. In the dawn of the 17th century, a new world was being shaped, a nation that would become a beacon of hope and freedom, America. As the sun rose on the year 1607, a ship carrying English settlers arrived at a land of untamed wilderness and endless potential. This was Jamestown, the first permanent English settlement in North America. Yet the dream of a prosperous life in the New World was far from immediate reality. The settlers faced endless hardships, harsh winters, disease, and scarcity of food. Their survival hinged on the interaction with the Native Americans, the original inhabitants of this land. From them, the settlers learned to cultivate the land and adapt to the new environment. As the years rolled on, Jamestown was followed by more settlements, eventually culminating into 13 distinct colonies. Each of these colonies, though diverse in their customs and ways of life, shared a common dream. As we glide into the next scene, we see this dream of a new life, of self-determination and of freedom, a concept that would later be encapsulated in the term the American dream. This dream, however, was not without its contradictions. As the colonies grew, so did the tension between the ideals of freedom and the realities of colonial life. The promise of liberty was a beacon for many, but it remained an elusive dream for others. These contradictions would shape the future of this emerging nation and set the stage for the struggles and triumphs that were yet to come. In the face of adversity and against all odds, the settlers persevered. They built towns, established governments, and laid the foundation for what would become one of the most powerful nations in the world. Thus began the saga of a nation built on the principles of liberty and the pursuit of happiness. Before we continue, if you like the video so far, subscribe. It really helps us out. As we transition to the next chapter, we see the colonies growing and the seeds of revolution being sown, leading to a fight for independence. The American Revolution, a period of upheaval and change, marked a turning point in the history of the Americas. The once obedient colonies were now finding their voice, expressing their discontent against British rule. A key catalyst was the Boston Tea Party, an act of defiance that sent a clear message to the Crown. Thousands of pounds of tea were dumped into the harbor, a symbolic act that sparked outrage and led to stricter British laws, further fueling the revolutionary spirit. Then came the moment that would forever be etched in the annals of history: the signing of the Declaration of Independence. This document, penned by Thomas Jefferson, was the colonists' formal assertion of their right to self-governance. It was a bold statement to the world that they were no longer subjects of the British Crown, but citizens of a new nation. The Revolutionary War soon followed, a brutal and arduous conflict. Yet, the colonists, driven by their thirst for freedom, fought valiantly. They faced down the world's most powerful army, overcoming insurmountable odds to secure their independence. With the victory in the Revolutionary War, a new nation was born, free and independent. This period of revolution and independence was not just about breaking chains, but about forging an identity that would come to define the United States of America. As we move into the next era, we see the journey of a nation is never without trials. The mid-19th century marked a period of intense conflict, the Civil War. This was a time when brother fought against brother, and the very fabric of the nation was at the brink of being torn apart. The Civil War was not a spontaneous event, but the culmination of years of tension and disagreement over the institution of slavery. Northern states, driven by industrialization and a growing sentiment against human bondage, stood in stark contrast to the southern states, where slavery was deeply intertwined with the economy and social structure. Major battles, such as Gettysburg and Antietam, were bloody and brutal. These were not just fights for territories, but for ideologies, for a vision of what America could and should be. In the midst of this turmoil, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. This historic document didn't immediately end slavery, but it was a significant step towards freedom. It declared that all enslaved people in Confederate-held territory were to be set free, turning the war into a fight for human liberty. The Civil War had far-reaching consequences. It brought an end to slavery, yes, but it also left deep scars that took generations to heal. The aftermath of the war saw a long and arduous journey towards true equality, a journey that continues to this day. The Civil War, a dark chapter in American history, ended with the promise of freedom and equality for all. Before we transition into the 20th century, please subscribe. Now America emerged as a global power, leading the world through major events. The 1900s started with America asserting its might in the international arena, with its involvement in two world wars that reshaped the geopolitical landscape. The nation emerged not only victorious, but as a beacon of democracy and a global superpower. In the aftermath of the wars, America turned its focus inward, addressing civil rights issues that had long been ignored. The civil rights movement of the 1960s was a testament to the nation's capacity for change, as courageous individuals fought for equality, leading to landmark legislation that transformed the nation. Yet, the 20th century wasn't just about wars and civil rights. The space race ignited in the mid-century, showcasing America's technological prowess and ambition. The successful Apollo moon landing in 1969 marked a new era, illustrating that the sky was no longer the limit for what America could achieve. As the century drew to a close, another revolution was unfolding, the digital revolution. America was at the forefront of this change, with the birth of the internet and the rise of Silicon Valley. The nation that had once been a leader in industrial manufacturing was now leading the world in technology and innovation. In the 21st century, America continued to grapple with complex issues, from the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks to the ongoing fight for social justice. Yet, through all these challenges and triumphs, America's spirit remained unbroken, its resilience unwavering. The narrative of America is not just a story of a nation, but a tale of its people, their dreams, their struggles, their victories. It's a saga of constant evolution, of a country continually striving to better itself, to uphold the ideals upon which it was founded. From a struggling colony to a global superpower, America's journey continues, carrying the legacy of its past and the promise of its future.